Okay. Good day, everyone. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another learning community by Microsoft, Excel Learning Community. Our today's topic will be GitHub, which will be taken by Ifeanyi Iheagwara. So I'll tell you about our company, UrBizEdge. UrBizEdge is a registered Microsoft Excel consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analysis, and enterprise solution firm in Nigeria. We specialize in helping company and high-value professionals be on top of their business data. So these are some of our upcoming training that's coming up in Lagos. We have from the 24th to the 26th of February, we have business intelligence and dashboard using Microsoft Power BI. We also have on the 25th to 26th of this same February, we have big data analysis, Power Query, Power Pivot, and Visual Basic Application, that's VBA in Excel. So from the 1st to 2nd of March, we'll be having Python for data analysis. So I'll be reading the profile of our special guest today, which is Ifeanyi Iheagwara. Ifeanyi Benedict Iheagwara is a data analyst and a trainer with UrBizEdge, a company dedicated to helping companies and high-value professionals be on top of the business data. He's skilled with Microsoft Power BI, Excel, and Python with some other tools. His passion lies in helping you get the most out of your data and also in community building. Ifeanyi is also an open source enthusiast and a technical writer. He has worked with a few tech companies such as Geeksforgeeks and has helped them to articulate their ideas clearly. So you can follow Ifeanyi on LinkedIn with Ifeanyi Iheagwara, also on Twitter and also on GitHub. So with no further ado, I'll hand over the session to Ifeanyi Iheagwara. So I'll stop sharing my screen. So Ifeanyi, over to you.
Hello. So I'll share my screen right now. Okay. You can see my screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about GitHub. Okay. So first of all, we'll be looking at what is GitHub. We'll be looking at some very most known terminologies of GitHub. We'll be looking at how the project workflow goes on and collaboration using GitHub, and then I think 2 weeks ago when we had a session, somebody mentioned that they wanted to know more about GitHub and they wanted to know how to create readmes and GitHub pages. So we'll also be looking at how to create your GitHub readme, which can serve as a portfolio. Okay, so Git is kind of like a time machine for your project, and that's what I mean. So first of all, what is Git? So Git is the version it's a version control system. It's online. It works on your command lines or your terminal, and it's distribution. So what we do mean is distributed. Git is distributed and says that everybody has a copy of what you're doing. So Git is used as a version control system that allows developer and not technical people to track changes in that computer file. So you could be working on a project, somebody could work on the same project, and we have a way. So it's distributed so that everybody has a copy of something. And hello, am I back on?
Okay, you just went for some couple of minutes, but you're back, just for a few seconds.
Okay. So what I was saying is that Git is the virtual control system that's used for tracking any changes that take place in your computer files. That's the idea of Git. So it's more think of it as offline. It's different from GitHub. So it's offline, it works in your command prompts, and it works either your command line, your terminal, you can use it, or even Git. If your GitHub desktop, you can also use Git. So it's distributed in the sense that everybody has a copy of this file that we're all working on. It also has the feature of collaboration. In the sense that since it's just everybody has a copy, so everybody's kind of collaborating on this particular project that is being worked on. And it's asynchronous in the sense that everybody has a copy of the project at various times in them. So if there's a particular project we're working on, so let's say we're trying to build an app and everybody use Git to get a copy of it on your local machine. So there's a centralized copy, which is hosted on GitHub. And then now everybody has a copy of a file. Maybe might different for us, but so if I download it now, the copy I have is probably different from if they've made a change. If you have copy that Timidayo has, if he downloaded it, if he cloned it, or he made a copy of the repo some minutes or some days later. So then Git, but the most brilliant thing about Git is the fact that it's an open source version control system. So what we mean by open source version control, we mean that version control, when we say version control, it makes sense that like the fact that it makes this copy that you can track down changes that's taking place historically. And what I mean by local, I mean that it's local, it's not offline. Gift is the local distance. Version control, in the sense that since everybody has it makes copies of everything that is taking place, in the sense that it's recording all the changes that's taking place in the file, and you can always refer back or go back to a prior change that take place. So it stores your change. So it's storing the changes that you have done. Is you can revert back to a previous change. You can also compare changes. So someone make a pull request and you can compare what was what is this new change the person has added and how did it look before. You can compare changes. It's collaborative. It says that much more than one person can work on the same file and there's no issue to it when it's being pushed. And then branches. So we'll come to branch later. So version control, the only example I could think of giving version control is your Google Doc. So if you're familiar with Google Doc, yeah, you write a file, maybe you're writing an article on Google Doc. So if you look at this, where you see this part where they wrote this, the edit, last time the file was edited. And if you look, this is kind of like similar to what we mean by version control. It says that you can see the different changes that were taking place. And I can always go back to priority. So I see here, Mike made a change here. And I can go back to this previous and I can restore this version. So this is similar to kind of what one of the features of Gift. It says that I can go back to a previous version, even maybe where the file was just this, and I can restore it as just this, as something as simple as this. Okay, so that's what we mean by version control. The slide. Okay. So now that we understand what Git is, let's go to GitHub. So GitHub is the collaborative platform of it. So GitHub is a collaborative version. So GitHub is a Git hosting online service, and it uses Gift to track every collaboration. So GitHub needs Gift, but Git doesn't need GitHub. So GitHub uses Gift to track down every change that was there. Hello. I'm back now. No, Timidayo. Timidayo. My phone. Okay, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I was saying that seems been bit of internet disconnection. Okay, so we're back to GitHub. So GitHub is the online hosted service that uses Git to uses features of Git to track down every contribution or every changes that was made to whatever project you are working on. So the other good thing about GitHub, that GitHub comes with a lot of other features, but it uses the Git to do the tracking of the system. So some of the benefits of using GitHub. So besides the GitHub, there are also other hosting services that do similar, that also uses Git to track down contributions. By other hosting services, we mean like there's GitLab, there's Beanstalk, there's Bucket, but GitHub is the most popular one, and that's because of the fact that it has this sense of community. There are a lot of resources on how to use this. There are a lot of people advocating for it, and it has this sense of community compared to the other services available. So benefits of GitHub is that it's this powerful version control tool which you can use to keep track of everything that was made. It gives you this, you can make collaboration with you and others in your team. You can create repos. We'll come to our repos, but repo is more of like think of it as an house or a place where you store the project. So it's like it's like this place where you're storing all your projects. So maybe like a folder on your computer where you literally store everything that is being done on a particular project. So GitHub is safe. You can create private or public repos depending on what project is it. It has a very huge community. There are a lot of resources out there on how to use it, and it has a lot of people advocating for it. It supports branch development. So on brand development, we'll come to brand development. Brand development is the sense that I could be working on a file and so I get a file from GitHub, so I clone it to my local machine and I'm working on it. So let me say we're building an app, for instance. And so I'm building an app. So maybe I decide that I want to add a new feature to the app, maybe, or I even want to change, or I'm working on the website. So the website is online right now, people are using it. But I decided I want to add a new feature to it. So maybe I want to add a new payment, maybe a new checkout link of where people can maybe do a better, or maybe I want to add maybe where you can add want to support crypto. So I want to add a new feature to our checkout link. So when I'm working on it, somebody else could also clone it, or somebody else in the team could also do the same thing to create its own branch, and it's also working on something totally different in it. And it's not going, and when we both push it to go online, it doesn't affect there's no form of conflict if it's done properly, and it just like merge into the main repo or the main. So that's what we mean by branch. So everybody could create different branch of the same project and working on different features without like together. So GitHub is also relatively fast, and it's also very simple to use. It has a very easy interface, and it has the capability to handle very large projects. Okay, so are there any questions at the moment?
So no questions at the moment, but if anyone has any question, you can drop your question in the chat box below. So any question can be dropped in the chat box below. So if you can continue.
Okay. So we're going to go to the Github terminologies. So when I was talking, I mentioned a lot of terminologies, like I mentioned repo, I mentioned branch. So we're going to look into what all of this means. We're going to look at what repo means. So repo is like a short form of repository. It's actually called a repository. Then we look at what we mean by master, what we mean by branch, what we mean by checkout, what we mean by commit, what we mean by push and pull, what we mean by pull request or APR, what we mean by merge, clone, and what we mean by fork. Okay, so let's have this in mind. So this is the app, or the website that is at the moment that is live, and there are different people in the team. So maybe this is my computer, this is Midaya's computer. So we can both pull this into our system. So we have a local version of it, and we're making the changes. So I'm here adding a new feature. Maybe now we accept Bitcoin. So now you can use that. And Timida is also pulling to add a new feature. So now we have so he's also working on his own. He's also working on his own a new feature. So maybe now we're also going to also sell stocks. So he's also working on that. And when we're done, we can both push it into the main repo, and everything does merge into the website and with no conflicts and everything. Okay, so now a repo. So repo is basically like, think of it as a folder for your project. This is like an house or a folder where you put all the files, and the repo also gives you the history of the file, and it also gives you some details that's taking place in the file. So this is like an example of a repo. So you have this repo, it has all these different files. It also gives you like what's this folder about and everything about the project that's been going. Then we have the master branch. So the master branch is this is like the master repo. So this is the master branch, and whenever this is the like website that was live, and maybe on this day, maybe yesterday, I decided to start working on this new feature. So I create a different branch. The reason why you create a different branch is so that in case there's a bug or maybe there's a problem, or maybe you do it and maybe the head of the team is not, or the person that's supposed to do merge the so to measure what I've done is maybe it's not satisfied with it. It doesn't really affect the live version that's going on. They can always close this branch, or even they can always like reject like what the work I've done. So I create a different branch when I'm working on it. And as I've created this one, so this is a branch already being created. This is still the master repo, and the website is still live. And maybe 2 days later, team does also work on something else. So he creates his own branch and it's been worked on. And when we are both done, you could merge it and it will just join into this original, so this master branch. Why what I've done also gets merged into the master branch. So the master branch is like the primary, or it's like the primary branch of the repo, like the actual this repo, this is the repo, this is the master that everybody makes that clone from. And every changes or any commits that I made, so changes, so commit basically means like saving. So every change or every new feature that's been added to this app or this website or to this documentation gets merged into the master branch. So branch is the parallel version of a repo. So this is like this little repo. This is the little repo here is a branch, and this is the branch. So it doesn't really. So what I'm doing here does not really affect. So if I'm doing this branch, I decide to delete something that is uploading right now in the branch. So I studied we're accepting crypto, but I also want to remove a different payment platform that we're also using, and because that's our plan. So if would have deleted this now from my branch, the live version, or the one that everybody's still using right now on the website, still has that still whatever I'm working on gets merged into the master branch before it actually goes live and everybody sees what's done already. So the master branch is the parallel version of this repo. It doesn't affect whatever you do in this branch doesn't affect the master branch till it gets merged before it becomes like permanent and published. And since you're using Git and GitHub, you can always go back. If maybe when you have done this, you find out that maybe you don't want to do this anymore. You can always go back to a previous version. So that's the good thing about using Git and GitHub. So a checkout. So checkout is basically you switching between a branch. So switching from your branch 1 to your master branch, or from the new feature branch to this master branch. That's what we get checkout. A commit. So commit, just think of a commit as save. Commit is like your save button. Whenever you're closing the app, they ask you, are you saving? So that's basically commit. You're just saving the changes you have made into the repo. That's a commit. And we have a pull and push. So this is the master. So I want to get a copy on my laptop, like this. This is the master. I want to get a copy on my laptop now. So I pull it to my copies. So where I pull it, I make a copy on my net. And when I'm trying to like make this feature or send a request that this is what I've done and what do you think about it? So I have to push it to the master repo for everybody in the team to see what I've done. But when I pull it, like you can also pull, you can go to GitHub and pull a repo. And just maybe you want to do something personal, say personal project, you can put it. But you only push it when you want to not share it, you want to push it into the master branch. So yes, push it and send it like a PR. So that's it. So pull is you receiving changes. So this is the GitHub. I pull it, whatever changes or whatever is on this repo gets pulled to my computer, to my local computer. Then I make whatever changes as a commit, and then I push it now back to the live version so that they can be reviewed. And if it's okay, they merge it to the live version. So a pull request. So this is the master branch again. And so I decided to make a change. I'm working on the new crypto payout recent version. So where I create, I make a branch and I'm working on it. I work on it. When I'm done working on it, now I want to push it into the main branch or the main repo. So most of the time, there's usually somebody that think of a person like maybe the team end that will either accept it or not. So the process of me sending this of showing everybody that, oh, this is what I've done. That's basically a PR or a pull request. So a pull request, well, I've made the changes and I'm showing the maintainer or the head or whoever is assigned to do the merging that, oh, this is what I have done, and you can review what I've done. So accepting the change is depending on whoever is the master. The master is the one that goes to accept the change or reject the change if they are not pleased with what I've done. So the merging is the minute what by merging? Merging is just, so I've made the changes, and the moment it's added into the moment the person accepts it, it merges. Nothing by a merge. So a merge just you're accepting it and it goes live. So if maybe I did the new crypto distance. So at the moment you can listen where they have maybe 2 different payment platforms that we use. And the moment it's being merged, whenever you go on the website and you see that there's 3 different payment platforms, that's because the changes I've made has finally been merged into the website. So that's the idea of merging. So go to clone. So clone is just you making a copy of the file. By cloning is me to pull it. It means I pull this file into my computer. I've made a clone copy of it into my computer. So I've cloned it to my local machine. That's a clone. So it does an analytical copy of the file, and I'll do whatever I want with the clone copy. It could be maybe I just want to view. I just want to something personal. Maybe a project I saw online that's open source. I make a clone copy of it, and I want to maybe use it to do something else. Because maybe I'm working on the team and I'm trying to add a new feature, like I earlier mentioned. So that's the idea behind a clone. Then a fork. So before you can make a copy of, before you can make like a clone, let's say you're going to download it. But before you can make a clone, usually most of the time the original repo, you fork it into, you make a fork the repo into this thing, and then you make a clone. So this is the original repo. You fork it into your GitHub, and then you make a clone to your local machine. So maybe let me just show you an example of everything. So if we so that's okay. So 10 days. Okay. Okay. So now this is someone's this guy's this is GitHub page, and these are repos. So repos are different projects. So at the moment, these are different projects that's being worked on. So he has this project called 30 Days of Python, where you can get to learn Python in 30 days. It's just enough resources for you to get started in 30 days. So if maybe I want to get a copy of this file on my system, on my laptop, I'll clone it. The minute I click on clone, it tells me that I want to clone it. And yeah, I say yes, clone it. So it forks the repo, sorry, not clone. It forks the repo. So I fork the repo. And if you notice now, it shows Matt, this is my name. Like I have a copy of this file, which is forked from this. So on this project now, I can decide that maybe I want to add new more days, or maybe he made a mistake in the spelling or something. So I can make a change. I'll copy the code, go on my VS Code or my terminal and clone the repo. So when I make a clone, I now have a physical local copy on my machine. The local copy I have on my machine, then maybe I make it, so I go to maybe this particular folder now, and then maybe I see that they made a mistake, or maybe I want to change the name, or I just feel like I want to change something in it. So when I make a changes, I now send it as a pull request, which will show us different pull requests that were made. Okay, like now. So these are different pull requests that people have made. Somebody said they fixed the bug, they fixed this. So when you make a pull request, is going to review the pull request, and if it's satisfied with what you have done, it merges and it becomes live with this repo that everybody has. So the copy I have now, the copy E that is available right now, if he accepts this pull request, are not totally two different copies. If I now want to update my copy, then I pull again to get it updated. Okay. So are there any confusions? So we'll go to workflow, project workflow, collaboration, and everything using GitHub. Okay, so we'll talk about different project workflow. the process cannot go as straightforward as easy as this. So there are different workflows, or there are different workflows you can do using your GitHub. So you can raise issues. There's this software called issues. You can raise an issue. An issue could be a bug, could be a typo, it could be a contribution. So back here. So I think I see there's an issue. So there's an issue. So someone could see this an issue. I would like to add this. I would like to do this because okay, let's ignore that. Or okay, so these are different issues. Someone could make an issue that there's a bug in this thing, there's it's a possible configuration with this. So this is an issue. If person doesn't want to fix the issue, I'm just trying to like inform you that I found this problem, or found this in your code on your documentations, and I want like you should take a look at it. That's an issue. So issue is just like you running. That's when we run an issue. Then you can create a branch to fix the issue. You can add comments, which is basically, like I said, saving the file. You can make a pull request. So you have done the changes, so you have made changes, and you want it to go live. So I send it like, oh, this is what I've done. Can you take a look at it? That's the thing. So when I make that changes and I send it to go live, the changes will be reviewed and I'll get feedbacks. So an example of getting changes and feedbacks. So if I go to okay, so like now, okay, so you make it. So I made the changes to this repo, and then you get a feedback. Okay, so you get feedback. Oh, like this, do this, this, this. Then they give you the changes. The reviewer can view the changes and look at the changes and comment on the changes. And so that's what I mean by changes. So I can say that, okay, so this was here. This was the original one. I made this. This was this. This was this. Where this. Where this. That's what I mean by like make changes. And then they could leave different comments about this or change that you have done. That's what we by you get changes, you get review, then merge. So when you have finally made that changes, so like okay, so when you have finally made that changes, so this person saying you fix this bug and this repo. So he has done this, done this. So you can see the repo it was blocked, the merge was not like so you can either your put when you make a change, you could either be accepted or you could be rejected. That would be by so that's a merge. So merge is also you have made the changes and now you want to merge it into the live version or to the central version that everybody gets the original from. That's a merge. So there are also other features from GitHub. GitHub has this project board. The project board is like a Kanban board when it shows you different steps in a project. Maybe people are working on something and it shows you that's a Kanban board. You can get insights from the GitHub. You can also see there are also special files in GitHub. One special file is a README, which we're going to look at today. They also has this issue templates. You can create an issue template. So if somebody creates an issue, the person has to answer a few questions. So maybe it depends on how you set it. You got if you pull requests also comes with you can also automate the changes. So maybe you make a pull request. I'll ask you some questions like, did you change something in the documentation? Did you change something in the code? The what you change affects this? Was it just a minor typo? Maybe I want to just know the full extent of it. So I know whether it's something I should go and actually look at, I should just ignore it. And they also GitHub Actions. So in GitHub Actions, here we go to GitHub Marketplace. There are some plugins or stuff which you can download. You can use to automate some stuff that go in your GitHub. Like you can automate that whenever you publish something, it should go live. It should also show maybe your README that you have done this and more like that. Even you can also use it for your they will test even the code vulnerability. Also like in the plugin on the marketplace, there are a lot of plugins which you can take a look at. So let's look at this Kanban boards, the insight and the contributing.md. Okay. So now this is the project or the Kanban board. So the project, like I mentioned, is like a Kanban board. It's like a Kanban board. So if I create a new project, Okay. So you can create like I add a project and you don't have any project, but it shows like you can say like a Kanban board which shows you like different steps of the project of how you are going in the project. That's what I mean by the Kanban board. Then insights. So from any repo or any decision, you can get insight about this repo. So this is the insight. You can see maybe number of pull requests that was made, who are the contributions, how many. So these are different contributions with different statistics. This shows you maybe how many people made the commit, who made the most changes, who made the most. So far has been, so it seems that on Wednesday there are lots more activities going on here than before. So that's what we by an insight. So it gives you like what the changes, how many changes were made by what time, different fields like that. There are also contribution.md files. You usually find this a lot in open source projects. So it just tells you if you want to make a contribution. You want to make a contribution. Just have a contribution.md file. Okay, it doesn't have this one. It doesn't have a contribution.md file. So don't go to this. I'm looking for a project that has a contribution.md file. Yeah, this one has a contribution.md file. I've seen it. So a contributor to MD5 is just an MD5 that tells you like if you want to make a contribution, what are the steps you need to do or what do you need to do in the contribution to MD5. So that's okay. Okay, so that's basically it's just a text file, just like your readme.md file that just gives you steps of if you are going to make a contribution. These are the steps that you should do or what do you need to do, like if you want to make a contribution to the repo or the change to the repo. Should also templates for you so that the GitHub already has some pre-defined templates which you can now modify. So these are your special files which you can modify depending on different or how you want to do your repo. Then go to Git Action. Git Action is just like an automated way of some things that you need to do. You don't need to always do it. So maybe you want to add like whenever you make a new post, this should happen. Whenever someone makes a contribution, it should do some quick reviews of this thing and give you like maybe check so that like some checks that needs to be done. The best change is the best change, so it does give you some check. You can use that with a GitHub action. So when it comes to building your portfolio, you want to build a portfolio and you want to use GitHub to do that. You can either use that using create a GitHub page. So a GitHub page, you can create a GitHub page, or you can create a README, depending on which one you prefer. So a GitHub page appears kind of like a website, but like everything's coming from your GitHub account. So the steps are you just the moment you have a GitHub account, you just create a repo. So for you to create a repo in GitHub is you come here and you go to your repos. So this gives you a list of all your repos to see your profile and stuff. But if you come to this plus, you can create a new repo. So when you're creating there are special files. So if you want to create this thing, what you want to create it, so you have to use to create a GitHub page, you need to use your name. And then you add, so the minute I add this is a special file, which is already like, this is if you're going to create create like a README. But now we're not creating a README, we're trying to create a GitHub page. So GitHub page, you just use your username, github.io. So that has been github.io. And you can create the simple as that. You give yourself, make it either public or it is private. You give it a description, you can add a README file, and that creates a GitHub page. So when you create a GitHub page, it kind of appears like a website. And then you make changes to it. You can add your name, like put links to either your portfolio, which you could use, and stuff like that. The other kind of files you can use with a GitHub is a GitHub README. So a GitHub README, okay. So you didn't get the part about creating a GitHub page. Okay, so I'll go over it again. So if you have a GitHub account, I don't create a GitHub. I don't a GitHub page. Okay, I'll show you an example of a GitHub page. I don't apologize as a GitHub page. Okay, maybe I started from scratch. Okay. So, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So you have a GitHub account, right? So you create a GitHub account. So to create a resume, so that you have a README, or you create this thing, or you create this thing. So you want to create a new repo, you come to this plus sign and do new repo. So there are special files. So your repo, you usually give them any name. If I do okay, I've created a repo called okay. This just me creating a repo, and I create repo. Like I mentioned, the repo is just a folder where you dump. You don't have an account. You need to go and sign up at github.com to have an account. You need to go and sign up at github.com to create an account. You have an account. Okay, so the sign up page. Yes, so you need to have an account first of all. But when you have an account, you can always watch the recording and that can help. So this is just me create a repo. So right now I create a repo called okay. That's just it. This is just me create a repo. But there are special repos everybody's entitled to. There are special repos that are entitled to everybody has a special. Okay, everybody has, you can create like special repos. So the example of a special repos are two. We have a GitHub page, which is kind of like, it looks like a regular website, but the backend is all coming from your GitHub. Or you can create a GitHub README. I personally don't want to create a GitHub page, so I just kept the steps here. Well, I can create a README this tutorial from scratch. So to create a GitHub page, you go to that place where you do you create a new repo. Instead, you give it your name. Usually, it has to be your username. If you don't do your username creates this is a special repo, but the username gives you a README. This are the README. A README is this. This is a README. This is a README that was created. This is on README. It just like gives a summary of the repo. Maybe you are this, you do this, you work here. That's also a README. So it's like kind of like a portfolio or like a quick CV kind of thing. So that can be like a portfolio. And but if you want to create a GitHub page, you just have to do at github.io. Yeah, so this creates your it's your special this creates like for you to create a GitHub page. So what you do, that you create a repo, your username here, replace username with your username. Your username is the name you picked when you're creating your GitHub account. So you put your username dot GitHub this thing, create repo. It opens there. You cannot clone it, and then you can add an index.html file. And you just when you do that, you can edit the HTML file and you can push it on GitHub, and then it appears like a website link which you can share if you want a GitHub page. The other second option you have is to create a GitHub README. So create a GitHub README. So maybe let me delete my README. So delete it. So I've deleted my README, so I'll create it from scratch. So I've deleted my README. This just shows me people I maybe follow and the activities that they have done. So GitHub kind of like the thing of it is also beside another thing that also makes it the community part is also the fact that it looks like it has a social coding platform. I think they always has a tagline some few years ago. The social platform, like in case that you can follow people, you can unfollow people, you can start people's repos, you can clone people's repos, look at that code, you can commit, you can collaborate, which is kind of like a social media, but though it's not a social media. Okay, so you want to create now a GitHub README. First of all, you need to have an account number. Then you use create a repo, which just has your name. Okay. So I go here to this new repo. Okay. So I give it my name account, and automatically it comes like it's a special repo. It's public since wanted to be viewed by everybody. If it's like a company, they go private, except maybe they're trying to build something that is open source. I can add a README file. A README file is a test file, which is where you put your test. You basically write either with markdowns, depending on which, usually with markdowns, or another text language like construction text. You can write with the construction text or markdowns. You can also add this also like a template or a license. Well, license, I don't really know so much about the license, but this will tell people what they can do with your code. So even when I was building not a resume, I was trying to build maybe a new so let's like UrBizEdge, we're trying to create want to develop a new app, and I keep the code there. I keep a license and maybe cannot copy or you cannot use whatever we have done here. Like you don't have any right to use it. Depends on the license I give. Or if we're building something open source, we can put that maybe you're allowed to duplicate and use on your. So it depends on what kind of license I want. I'll put it out. You can learn more about license here. So I create a resume. Okay. So this is the resume. So it tells me this, and I create a README. If I go to the file, if I go back here, code, I see the resume. So this is the README. So since this special kind of README, this is not a normal README because the other README that I created, The other repository I created, which was this one that I created a few minutes ago. All right, this was a normal repository. See, it does not come with a defined template. I can put whatever I want here. You can write it with regular text. So when I've done this, I commit, which I mentioned it looks like commit is basically you saving changes that you have done. So I commit my changes and it says it goes live. If somebody else wanted to make, like team that you want to make changes to this, you have to fork the project and then he clones it to his computer and make whatever changes and it will come as a pull request, which if I like the change, I can accept it and then I'll merge it and it will become live on this particular project. So again, so whenever you create a repo using your own username, it comes with the special README where you can come and then you can edit here. So this is a special README for your file and this. So I can put different stuffs here. And also put stuff you want, this blockchain, whatever. You can put collaboration. Just answer these few questions, and when you are done, you commit your changes. So for you to how do you fork a repo? Okay, how do you fork a repo? So initially, when I started, I forked this guy's repo. Let me go to my repository and do it again. Oh, okay. Don't just do a new repo. Okay, so this guy has repository. His repository contains courses, different languages, which you can learn, like a 30 days of something repo. So let me say I'm interested in learning React and I want to learn. So I'm really interested in learning JavaScript and I want to learn JavaScript. Forking repo is just as simple as this. Just click on this button. That's how you make a forking repo. There's washing a repo. If I click on washing a repo, if you add something new to this repo, I'll get a notification that so and so has added something to this repo. That's washing, like you're washing it, or like you're stocking the repo. The style repo is just more of like a like on social media, so you like it. The people that are very most people that the repos that you must use a lot, most of the time you get a lot of likes or most of stars. Or every repo has it. So this likes, this the fork, this the wash. So if I want to fork this repo, this the JavaScript of repo. As you can see right now, I show you the JavaScript where it's owned by him. I want to make a copy of it on my own, like on my own profile, on my own repo. I want to have a copy of this repo. I just click on fork. That's me where I'm forking it into, which is I click on my username. Okay. And it gets accepted here. So it shows this. So it shows that like this repo that I did was forked from this repo. On this repo, I can make whatever changes I want. If I want to do this, I can make whatever changes I want now on this repo. I can say that I want to remove everything here. And if I'm done, I'm pleased with what I've done, I click on commit change. If I go back to my copy of the repo, it says it starts from day one. I deleted the entire date one of this particular project, this person did. If I go back to this guy's repo, you see, he still has this in his copy. So working repo does basically me creating a copy of it. In my own copy, I've moved that part of it. In his copy, it still has it. If I want this change now to be permanent on its own change, I'll have to create a pull request. So that's it. If I go to my repository, I'll see the copy I want here. And you can always delete your repo by just going to settings and delete it. You just asking me if I'm sure I want to delete it and this, you just have to type in whatever I say. So no consequences. Yes. Okay, so I've deleted that copy of it. Okay, so back to the README file we're doing. Okay, so the readme file. Okay, so this is readme file. So I've done this now. So the readme file is just this. This will. So whenever you create a repository with your own name, it creates a readme file. Readme file, like I mentioned, is similar to. Let me check if this guy has a readme. It's similar to this. This is basically a readme file. So this is own readme file. Yes, this is own. So the readme file can sound like a profile for you. Which can look like a profile for you. You also have this on readme file. So this readme file. So if I want to create, I want this to show on my first page of my profile. I want this to show on my first page of my profile. Let me just use this for now. Okay, so readme files, for you to write something in a readme file, you have to use Markdown. And if you are good at HTML, that's also good. So you have to learn Markdown. So Markdown is just like simple languages, but if for you to do some other stuff, you need to use a comment. You do that when you're trying to comment, and so I'm moving this also. So down. Okay, so let me do it. Let's say I want, like I like this report. I want to do this. So I can put my name is okay. Then if gold. Okay, well let me just put this. Okay. Okay, so I also want to add this. But to learn that, you have to go and learn more about Markdowns. So you can add, with Markdowns, you can add different stuffs. So I'm trying to create a link. Okay, so I want to link that wherever it comes, it links up here. Or if I want to link that, links up to maybe our blog. One you have making changes to see how your Markdown, because this stuff have different meanings in Markdown. This just means bullet point. This means I'm trying to create a link. You can always go to the preview here and get a preview of what I've done. So right now it's telling me that this link I created, and if you click on it, it's going to open here. At the moment, if you look at my repository or my profile, you see that this order is showing now. This. So if I want to make whatever I've done at the moment now, like permanent, what I do is create it, like I save changes, like I commit it. Now if I come back here and I refresh this page, you'll send the changes. So this has served like a portfolio, or if you're trying to create a portfolio, use it with me. So that's the second option. So it's simple. You just create a GitHub account, you create a repo, use a special name, you edit your file. If you know HTML, you guys would do way more crazy designs. Like some people do, like all this. Like all these links, you can, if you know HTML, even this giving yourself click into your paper account and stuff, even though HTML, you can actually do lots more than this. The next thing, like I mentioned, is either this or this. Yeah. Then these are those different resources which you can to learn more about creating a resume using GitHub. So that's all for now. So in the resume, I kept some introduction to maybe learn more about how to create like a more beautiful resumes. You want to add images, you want to add website links, you want to add so many other stuffs. You can learn all that. They're all on the page.
Awesome. So, hello, fine.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, awesome. So, any question in the house from anyone? Because actually, I've learned a lot today. So, any question from anyone in the house? So, if you have any question, you can just raise up your hand, or you can drop your question at the chat box. I'll just read it out for you. And also, if you can show them the cheat for learning Markdown. So I dropped it as the link in the chat
Link.
box. So if
Okay.
you want to learn, you can. As is up.
No, okay, so
That's
this
Omolash. Okay, let me promote you as a speaker.
okay, so this markdowns. If I want to, I can just show you some simple stuff you got to do with markdowns.
Okay, so Omolash, you can speak. You can mute yourself and speak now. I've promoted you as a speaker.
Very much. So wanting to
Okay.
more about this because I started learning.
Hello.
We can
Hello,
hear
can
you,
you hear
but
me?
you're going.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you. Hear you.
Okay, so I said I've been wanting to learn more about GitHub because I started learning data analytics and I've been trying to look for a way you can like build a portfolio and so I just want to know, it means that for you to get started at all, like building your portfolio on GitHub, I have to go and learn this Markdown first.
Oh, no, you only use Markdown like you need to learn Markdown. You need to understand Markdown. Markdown is actually not hard. It's just some simple stuff like everything is basically plain English. Like now I put I, it shows you as I. These emojis, if you can go to all these emojis websites, yeah, this one, and you can basically copy the emoji. Like I want this resume to show you. Copy it. I'll come here. Name is fine. I give this my emoji. If I save it, this is going to show my name is fine with the emoji. Then if I want to make
Hello. Fine. Okay.
okay, I'm back now. Sorry. Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, fair. Okay,
Yeah.
so you use the Markdown. We are writing all this text. So like I mentioned, you put this, it shows you as this. There are also different ones like you do this, and I put I. Let me do this with a tree with I, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4 with an I. If I would do just one of these with an I, you see it's going to appear different ways. This. You see, like the Markdown stuff is actually not hard. You just after a while you get the hang of it. For you to do bullet points is something like this. Today bullet point appears as a bullet point. So it's just like a way of you writing text files to show that it's actually not this thing. These are the ones you use a lot. This and even when you, like I mentioned, when you try to create this readme file, you saw there was an automated, not automated, but there was already a predefined one which you could just edit yourself. Let me cancel
Okay,
this.
so there was a part where you were editing like someone's profile, like said if you want your profile to look like that person. This is still part of the you talked about forking
the repo.
yes,
The repo.
So is it still the same?
Yeah, if I want someone's profile to look like so this is repo that has this profile, right? So I click on it now. I want my profile to look like this. I don't really have to do this by scratch. I can actually fork this repo to my destiny, right? So I forked it now, and this is you have a copy of the file. Then so it's taking a while to load. Okay, so now this was its own readme file. So I go and just create my own. Using that, you go to UrBizEdge, I create a readme file using my name. And I can simply just go to this profile here, copy everything you did here, go to my own profile, save it, paste it here. Then now I have to just edit it. Like this part I wrote, my name is this, I can change it to something. So if you know HTML, I don't know HTML, but even HTML, there's all these stuff which you can use to like design it more beautifully. So you don't really need to change it. You can just edit it. Okay, like now I kept username. He has this website username. I don't have this, so I can remove it. I just carefully remove things I do not want. I can re-edit the profile here, give my name, put my name here. when it comes to the LinkedIn. So the LinkedIn is just this www. This is a link to the LinkedIn website. Like, what's my LinkedIn? Go to my LinkedIn. Go to my LinkedIn and just like change all this stuff. So if you see someone's profile that you like, or you don't need to like build it from scratch, you can just fork it, edit the person's copy when you are done. So I comment this. So like now, if I comment this, you see where I go to my profile. Let me just make it more obvious. Okay, so I've done this. I commit my changes I've done. And if I go to my profile and I just refresh it, you see I have this was how his profile actually look like. So I just have to go back, look at the changes, edit, and edit everything. So I think that's what was important. I think this was important. So if you actually know HTML, you kind of get that an advantage of most of the stuffs. Okay, let me refresh now. Okay, yeah. So like you don't really need to create a profile from scratch. You can always play around, edit it, and everything will be actually. So yes.
Okay, so if Rashid said, can you get the slide for today's presentation?
Yes, this slide. I sent it to you.
Okay.
I posted it on.
I'll drop a link to it for it.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll be
So I
dropping the
kept the
link.
link.
Sorry.
Okay. So I kept posted it on this link. Or you can download it. So you download it, you have you can actually click on the resources and maybe read about it, how to, so that like there are different links that can help out with like even easy ways of building. So people gave some example of their README where you can download this. Go to that, if you see the README you like it, you can go on their GitHub, fork the repo and just edit it to yours. You just have to make sure you edit it that the links actually link to your page and stuff like that. Yes, the README link like describes what the profile, what you do to your thing. So, like I mentioned, there are two kind of READMEs. If you create a README, like I created a repo now, I created two repos during the presentation. I created two repos. If you create a repo with my username, it's the README there is a special kind of README that the README appears here as like kind of like a portfolio, like a profile, like this. It creates a profile like for me. Whatever I put on this README, the README in this particular repo it's going to be on my actual page. If I create a repo again and I just put it in any name, maybe Microsoft, I'm working on something, or I'm creating a new app, or we're creating something now in UrBizEdge. So I create like a new README, I kept UrBizEdge. It's supposed to just create a regular repo. And whatever you README there is just going to describe the project. Like for example, this Microsoft README here describes the project, the tools in the project, maybe how you can contribute to the project, what are the right ways or the wrong ways to do it. Those instructions of how you can use, or instruction of the project. That's basically what the README does. So like there's this um, let's see, um, okay, like now this page here, section this for a blog. So the README here describes like like what the blog is, what it does, what is this, what it is, how can it help, this. That's what the README does for this, because the README here, if you see the page name, the GitHub name is session is their indication. this repo is just called the generic education. If they create a README with session generic education, it's going to create one of the special kind of README, which is a portfolio README. So if you are creating a portfolio README, you use your username. God, only you can create a username, create a README, create this. If you create a README with your own username, it opens this, like it creates this special, like it creates this particular kind of README for you. But if you just open a repo with any name at all, the README you have there is just going to describe the project itself or what you are working on. So yeah, you're right. The README also describes what the project is also working on.
Okay, okay, awesome. So for Rashid, I've shared the link to the slide today. The link, I'll share the link. You just check the chat box. Link to the slide today. So I'll be sharing my screen now to talk about the next session, which will be coming up by 6 p.m. So we're going to be having a special guest by the name of. So by 6 p.m. we're having a special guest by the name of Federico Pastor. He'll be taking us on designing reports with Power BI, tricks and tips. He's a very popular guy on LinkedIn. So I'll still go back to the group again. So with no further question, I think we'll be ending this section now. What do you think about that, Ifeanyi?
Yes, we can end the session.
Okay.
I need another question.
So by 6 p.m. our next section will be designing reports with Power BI, tricks and tips by Pastor Federico. So just join us. I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link to the meetup so you can join it through the meetup. I'll also send a direct link up. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone. And do have a lovely weekend. Bye.